Let's see, we'll hit the Twitch mode, and then we'll hook up Facebook, and then we'll be ready to rock it and roll it all day. Let's see, only got to change one digit here of that. So I'm typing in the stuff. We've got Eddie George on the line, ready to rock and roll on a Wicked Wednesday. There's a funky slide guitar that comes on every Monday through Friday at 11:05 on Newswire, on Facebook, Twitch, and even though he's not here, Jesse's absolute favorite, YouTube. As we go across all aboard, we'll preview later on in the hour the Joe Biden address to the nation. Gavin Newsom's got his hand in the cookie jar so big, you ain't gonna believe the amount of cash this man has been, that has curried from, extorted, in my view, from corporations around that. If there isn't one reason that we're going to break up big tech and we're going to get rid of Gavin Newsom, if the story we're going to give you later on doesn't do it, I don't know what else will. We're going to do a lot of other stuff in between, but as we usually do once a week and mostly on Wednesday, we have that crazy guy with a lazy eye who does that absolute fabulous Facebook page, Him and I News, YouTube channel, same thing, and all across the board. Eddie George, welcome to I News.
What's up, Roy? How are you today?
Absolutely fantastic.
I'm just sitting back enjoying this nice, cool, hot breeze all at once, drinking a cup of coffee, you know, just enjoying the day, you know, until some crazy stuff goes down again tonight.
Well, it's going to get hotter. It's supposed to be up to 90 degrees by Friday.
I know, and according to the thermostat in my car, it's showing me that it's 111 outside.
111? I think it was warm today, but I don't think it was. I didn't feel either. I'm getting much more resistant to this stuff, or it was not a. I don't think it was 111. You must have had the probe on the exhaust of your car or something.
I might have, or something. It's sitting right in the direct sunlight too, so you can't never go by those things. You know, it's just like the weatherman on TV.
Yeah,
you know, they lie.
Well, yeah, actually, they are really, and if you break it down, they're really pretty darn accurate. But that's a story for another day.
Well, lately now, that's about the only accurate thing on the news anymore is weather.
Yeah, man, you segued into that real good. Of
right.
Of that, but no, it's if I can find it here. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the whole LeBron James thing where he's calling out the cop that shot the 16-year-old that was just about ready to stab another human being, and if not, probably would have killed her, if not seriously injured her. Cop took her out. LeBron James posted the cop's picture with accountability. You're next. He's been all the day, all through the past year. He's been backing up the Black Lives Matter folks, thinking he really knows a lot about police work and stuff. Well, LeBron, you know, the cops don't tell you how to play basketball because you're probably one of the best players that's ever, if not the best, that's ever played the game. But I don't think you have much expertise in the cop business. And one LAPD officer asked, you know, LeBron's to call him, da-da-da. He hasn't responded to that. But I think he did get to one police officer, and he posted this little video.
Excuse me, no, can you put the knife down, please, sir? Sir, no, sir, don't stab him. No, stop stabbing. Stop. Oh, hold on, it's LeBron. LeBron, hey, yeah, it's me again. Listen, I'm out here at this disturbance call, and there's a guy trying to stab another guy with a knife. What do you think I should do? Why does that matter?
Yeah, lie.
Okay, well, they're both black. one guy's trying to stab another guy with a knife. Deadly force is completely justified. I see. So you don't care if a black person kills another black person, but you do care if a white cop kills a black person, even if he's doing it to save the life of another black person? I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but then again, you are really good at basketball, so I guess I'll take your word for it. All right. Yep. Okay. All right. Thanks, LeBron. Michael Jordan's the GOAT. What? Nothing. I gotta go. Sorry, guys. You're on your own. Good luck. Excuse me. No.
So, Eddie George, I mean, is that what, I mean, it was a spoof, but I mean, in LeBron's world, is that what he wants it to come down to?
I hope not. I really hope not.
I mean, I think that video that police officer made is, gets to the crux of the matter.
Right.
LeBron James, you don't know crap about police work. We're going to show some of the Him and I News stuff, of the stuff the police really have to deal. This nuts and bolts stuff they have to deal with every stinking day. On this
you
stuff.
mean the real crazy stuff in the dark that deals in Hemet?
Yes.
Are you talking about that guy that tried to break into Paradise Market and liquor?
Yes, all that stuff. I mean, that's what really does. And for LeBron James to go out, and again, he's not, where is it that he's working to solve these problems like the cop says? In the community you're trying to defend is where 50% plus of all the violent crime is going on. Why aren't you in that community stopping it or trying to come up with solutions so it doesn't happen in the first place? Or so like the tapes we're going to play like Eddie George just talked about, so this stuff doesn't go on that. Eddie.
Roll that tape.
We're going to roll the tape of the gentleman who was ghetto shopping in Hemet at the Paradise Market. Here we go. As you see, they're coming up. Eddie's there with the camera, and he's getting ready to come out the door, which looks like it still has a security gate on it. It looks like there's a hole in it. There he's dropping the free stuff, or the stuff he is allegedly stealing of that. Here he's trying to go through the hole in the door as the cop's coming out. And Sir
he's stuck in the window. He can't get out.
Yes.
And the first thing he said to Officer Maker when he pulled up,
yes,
and he seen Officer Maker approaching him, the first thing he said as he was sticking his body halfway out the gate, "What did I do? I didn't do nothing."
Yeah, you're
really?
You cut a hole in a liquor store of that. Here comes the third officer coming up, running up to it, and he grabs him by the head and pulls him. Looks like he's trying to pull him through the door, whatever. What do you say?
I love the way DeBono, that's the short officer, he just runs, he gets out of his car and just rushes over there, and just that little short rascal just takes over control. Like he grabs him by the hair of the head and he snatches his ass out of there. I'm like, you go, DeBono.
Of that, yeah. Here you go. I mean, we're gonna back that up a little bit and roll it. Of that, here he comes. Here comes the third officer. Man, he rolls right up to the front of the deal. Here he comes out of the deal, and bam, he's right on top of this guy.
I love the way he took over that thing. I'm seeing, get your ass out of there, dude.
But I mean, yeah, it is. What are these guys thinking when they're rolling this? Or like you said, the first words you heard out of his mouth was, "What did I do? What am I doing wrong?" Well, he's got merchandise that obviously out of a closed store that he's throwing on the other side. He's coming through there, and what did I do?
Well, let's take you to jail, and you'll have plenty of time to think about what you did.
Yeah, I mean, for one thing, what sort of mentality does it take that you get to a point of that where you think, I can just cut a hole through this, walk in, grab, and it didn't look like he grabbed much. It looked like maybe a soda and some bag of chips or something. I mean, to take a risk like that on what what mental state, what drugs, or what was this guy on to prompt him to do something like this?
Well, actually, I've come to find out. I talked to the family member of the kid, and the mother hit me up, and she told me that her son was not taking his medicine. He had some mental issues, and she says, well, but I do know that's not an excuse for his actions, what he did, and it's like, it's not what he was on, it's what he wasn't on.
There you go. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There had to be a backstory to this, because that didn't, it wasn't like, he smashed through the window or cut through it and then was just hauling out, the $30 bottles of whiskey or something out of there, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, he's just taking, it looks like a soda, potato chips, a few things out of the deal. It
did look like there was a few packs of cigarettes.
Well, that's kind of valuable in these days, yeah.
Right.
Of that. According to the mom, or did she tell us this kid a minor, or is he an adult, or do we know?
Yes, he is a minor. They did ask if we would blur his face and everything and let her see the video before we put it up, but I told her the video was already up, and technically, really, I mean, we did not know the guy was a minor, number one. We don't go up and ask for ID, when we got somebody breaking into a building or trying to break out of a building.
Right.
And, number two, the video already went out, so it's already out on different news agencies. So, I mean, we had to leave the video up.
Right.
But, like I explained, even when the police department called, I guess the Unified School District contacted PD and was complaining about we didn't blur the kid's face out. And I'm like, well, number one, why was even the school district even concerned about it? Because he was not in school. He was not on school property or anything during this time.
What are we holding school? This is a liquor store. They're usually only closed from like 2 to 6 o'clock in the morning?
Right.
I mean, so we're holding Zoom schools now at 2 or 6 o'clock in the morning? I mean, school districts, don't get me started on that. But, you are responsible for the kids when they're at the campus or on school time. That's
right.
When they step off the curb or shut off the Zoom meeting or whatever they're doing now, they're no longer
done.
on your watch. So butt the hell out. That's not your responsibility of what a kid's doing or not doing when they're not on your school campus.
And you know what it is? Law is if you catch a minor on this video breaking the law and causing a crime at the time, you can legally, as media, put that out.
Right?
That's
yeah, you can't determine. And I'm sure if you'd have, but they know you, and they probably wouldn't have minded too much. But I mean, if you start. But hey, is this kid a minor or whatever? They're going to tell you to go stand back about 30 feet, sir.
Exactly.
And if you don't, you will be the next ones wearing the silver bracelets. Because if you keep bothering us, we are going to, we'll show you how the law really works.
That's right. He was caught in a crime. I mean, there's other news agencies that were there. I mean, it's on Riverside County News Source. I mean, everybody picked that story up.
Yes, it looks absolutely hideous of what goes on this stuff, because you look I mean, it's like that one, and you see that just as I was about ready to bring it up, the one goes poof on the one in Del Taco.
Del Taco was such a cool story.
Yeah, go ahead and start, and I'll try and find that. The next one we got coming up is the genius that pulls into the Del Taco drive-thru.
Yeah, we were actually, where were we? I think we were staged somewhere just waiting on a call to come in, and all of a sudden we heard PD dispatch that they have a stolen vehicle in the drive-thru of Del Taco. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be exciting. Now, remember, this is the second time PD in the last couple of weeks busted a stolen car and drive-thru at this Del Taco. So this guy goes through. He's making his order, and we get there just as, PD is in the line. There's one unit behind the car in the drive-thru. Multiple units come showing up. They park in the parking lot of Steerenstein off to the side of Del Taco. So we have 5 officers sitting there waiting, to make their prey. and this car's making his order. My girlfriend is actually on the phone with the manager because we're good friends with BJ inside the restaurant, and we're telling him, what's going on. He's like, oh, really? This guy is making a big order right now. So it comes to time the guy gets to the window. The PD unit is behind the car.
Yes.
And I guess when he gets to the window, he looks off to the right and he sees all these other units sitting here, so he knows, like, okay, they're watching me. I better shorten my menu to where I can eat it quicker,
Yeah,
So,
I don't think I'm going to bring the rest of this home to whoever was going.
Right.
They're not going
It's
to
gonna
be
spoil.
Yes, they're going to have to make other dinner plans because I don't think I am going to be delivering the goods. I can get down to
That's
my
right.
burrito and Coke that I can eat here before I'm off
That's
to
what he
the.
did. He changed the order down to the burrito and Coke, left the other off. By the time he got from the window to the exit of the drive-thru, as you see in the video, it was so cool. I love the way PD done it. They just eased up, like a cat, crouching on a prey. They snuck up on him, and boom, all the blue lights came on at once. They got him at gunpoint, and we got everything live as it went down. And it's like PD done a great job recovering this vehicle. It was one of the easiest recoveries I think they've done for a while. And you'll see it in the video when you roll that.
Yes, we're rolling it right now. They're sitting behind him. The one cop's sitting behind him at the deal yet, and the four are still sitting there. But yeah, they're. Oh, here we go. Here's the part you're talking about. Yeah, they're all. I mean, they all just like everybody. Boom, go, man. They're surrounding this guy.
They were on him like a white on rice, man. They didn't play, give him no time. And you can see when he gets out of the car, it looks like he's trying to finish his food real quick. He had to scalp that stuff down before he got out of the car.
Judging by the time, he only had a couple, maybe a minute and a half by the time he pulled out of the drive-through before they converged on him over there. And it looks like, I don't know, did he just go over and park in the regular parking lot after he came out of the drive-thru?
They pretty well forced him into the parking lot. It looked like he was going to leave the property, but then I guess it looks like they forced him over into the right side of the parking lot, and that's when they nailed him, and he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, it appears like now when he's coming out, it looks like he's getting ready to come out of the car. He's got his hands up coming out of the car coming out. Was there any interesting things that went on after this?
No, actually after that, as we called it a night and went to the house. That was probably no, let me take that back. I think the Del Taco was the first call that we had, and then we were getting ready to go home for the night, and then we got the call. We were actually sitting at Del Taco when the call came in that the business owner seen somebody inside his liquor store and on camera, and he was trying to get out the gate. So we actually left there. We was like 2 blocks away. So we got on scene before police did, and then that's when I started filming the guy coming out. And then when PD rolled up, they seen our cameras there, and they're like, "Oh hell yeah, we got all this on video."
So, there's not going to be any mistake or of what went on this one on that. Yeah, because you got,
that's right.
I mean, you got him coming out of the deal, taking whatever merch, cigarettes or whatever, chips and bottle, out the door, outside of the premises, so there can be no mistake. He got them outside of the confines of the liquor store, so there isn't. I mean, there isn't much question on that one. I mean, everybody's entitled to a defense, and if it is, if it is as you talk to the mom of the individual that was caught on film. If he wasn't on his medication or and there's extenuating circumstances, I'm sure the court will take that into, that's why we have a criminal justice system. The cops come and arrest the guy, you were not supposed to be doing that. Then the courts take over and hopefully justice will be served.
And hopefully he'll learn his lesson next time, not to break into somewhere because there's cameras everywhere. There's folks out there with cell phones, cameras. You're going to end up being on the news, so think before you do something stupid, folks. People complain about us all the time. We're out there filming. Oh, you got me on camera doing this. You know, our job is to film the police, and if you do something stupid that the police has to get involved, well, when we're filming the police and they're dealing with you, well, then you're going to be on camera. So if you don't want to be on camera, don't do something stupid that the police has to come and we film them, you know.
You bring up a very important point, and I've said this, you know, let's say especially in the last 10 years, but it's really accelerated in the last 5 years. You got 24/7, 365. You got to assume you're being watched. You're being taped somewhere. You're being recorded, whether it's on your cell phone, a security camera, somebody flipping out their phone and taking a picture or video or recording
or some
of you.
redneck hillbilly
Yes.
guy with lazy eye shows up with a big news camera.
I mean, even in the confines of your own home. They could turn on your cell phone, your smart TV, your Zoom alarms, or what is it? I don't know. It's not Zoom. A Ring
Your
bell,
Alexa,
or all
yeah.
that. Yeah, those cameras and stuff. Somebody somewhere, whether it's the government or a hacker or something, somebody there, if they really want to, they can turn all that stuff on at any moment. You could be getting out of the shower in your birthday suit, and they could go boink. Oh yeah, there's Roy coming out of the shower on the deal, and be broadcasting it all over the internet. You aren't even safe in your own home anymore.
You know, I've been saying that for years, Roy, especially all these Alexas and Google thingies
Yes.
that they got. They say they don't listen to you or nothing like
BS.
that. They're sitting there carrying on a conversation, not even say the word Alexa, and she'll start answering me. I'm like, dude, I'm not even talking to you. Hush your mouth.
No, I did. That's why I don't. That whole Google Alexa thing and that, no freaking way. Well, I should say never, but I mean, I'm going to resist till every bone in my body not to have them in any of my deals. If I want to know something, I'll go figure it out. I do not need somebody watching me or 24/7 monitoring this stuff all the time. Not no, but hell no. And again, it's a very disturbing trend to me that people are so accepting of this stuff. They're thinking, I asked with Alexis or Google what the weather is or something, and it comes on, da-da-da-da-da. You know, if you can't figure that crap out, how the hell did we all survive before all this stuff came on? And is that sort of detail that important that your life is going to crumble if you don't know that it's 78 or 79 degrees? Hell, stick your toe out the door, you can tell what it is.
That's why Roy, he don't trust all these smart devices. That's why he still uses a flip phone with a rotary dial.
Believe it or not, somewhere around this joint, I have a rotary dial phone, and
I
I'm going to
would
plug
not put it past your ass.
I'm going to plug it back in and see. I know up until a couple years ago, they still on a landline, they still had to have the bumps and beeps off a rotary phone, because as of a couple years ago, I plugged it in and it still picked up the old rotary phone, and it was a lot. I'm not saying they didn't change it. You know, they're changing stuff so fast anymore. But you could actually, as of a couple years ago, you could if you had a landline, plug your rotary phone in and actually make a call to Eddie George.
Man, I'd have to try that just to bring back the old days.
Yes. It was very refreshing and liberating to dial with the old rotary phone.
Yep, those that you can't hit $1 and erase one number and go back. You have to hang that thing up and start all over again.
Yes, but you know what? You say in that sense, but you know what? It kept your like I do. People I got a few people in my contacts or something. Most people I can tell you your phone number. You can ask me at 12 o'clock midnight and I'll spout off Eddie George's phone number for you. But
I couldn't even do that with my own number.
But again, it keeps your that old stuff. And you know what was cool about the old landline phone or whatever? You know, all you did was hang the stupid thing up, and it was done. You didn't have to press it. And if when you answered it, you picked it up and answered it. You didn't have to push this button. Or you pick it up, and it starts putting you 47 screens start coming up, and it starts doing that. I don't know what I do. But as soon as somebody...
And it just feels so better when you hang up on those
yes!
spam callers. You know,
and
you can slam that thing down.
Yes! I was just going to say.
Get that feeling, you know?
Yes! Wasn't that very satisfying if somebody was pissing you off or you didn't want, or they were giving you a rational blank on the phone?
And you just slam that thing down on the cradle.
Slam that thing down. You know what? That's going to cost most of you $1,000 plus if you do that today.
Right? You throw that thing across the room.
Yes. Yeah, or do that. You know, the old phone, hell, they take a lot of freaking abuse, and if you did, it was only $20 or less to replace it. You know, it wasn't that big a deal.
Buy another one.
Yes, even if you did slam it against the wall and it shattered to 1,000 pieces, it wasn't no big wano. You know, just go down to the dime store or something and get another phone.
Call the Southern Bell, man.
Yes.
He'll hook you up.
Of that, you usually had 2 or 3 spares anyway because they were prone to failure. So
right.
Anybody that was judicious, let's just say, or was prone to slamming the phone down and it not working, well, we just pull out.
So now we know why you went through so many phones, boy.
Yes, I miss that. I miss being able to slam that phone down. Of that, you know, you didn't have to say anything. They got the message real quick.
Yep. It's no longer introducing your friend click. It's introducing the friend slam it down.
Yes. You know, there's all of the great things that we no longer get to that we miss with all of these high technology devices and stuff. But again, to pull full circle around, that's what I do. You know, ultimately, if you really want your freedom, you know, and all this mask off and all this crap they've been doing, the reason they're able to do it is because they're controlling you so much with all this stuff like that. And it just like, it drives, well, maybe not that it drives, well, it does drive me insane a little bit, but if you came up in the era that me and Eddie and a lot of us came up in, you know, you just can't understand, or maybe, you know, how do you make people relate to that? That, you know, this, we may not know everything, but we're not whistling Dixie about a lot of this stuff either.
You know, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I'm not the dullest either. Let's put it that way. That's the best way I could put
it. On that note, Eddie George, he's not the sharpest, but he's not the dullest blade in the drawer. Tell them how they can find you and your great crew, of how you cover and where they can find out not only all the stuff going on in Hemet, but maybe across the world. Eddie George, you got 30 seconds.
Oh, boy. Yeah, folks, just easy. Go to HemetINews.com. That's Hemet, EYE News.com. Also, ActionINews.com. That's Action, EYE News. And then also you got the YouTube channel, The Crazy Guy with a Lazy Eye.com. Takes you straight to our YouTube channel. Make sure you do subscribe. We'll be putting out some crazy content out there in the next 2 weeks. So make sure you do hit that subscribe button and follow us on all 3 links. Until then, Roy, it's been good being on the show with you again. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm getting out of my chair and get me a cup of coffee. And I am off your air.
That's the great Eddie George. Him and I knew, along with Lori, Alex, John, and the whole gang over there. They keep you informed of all the stuff going on. And, you know, it's always a pleasure when 2 crazy people like me and Eddie get on there and give you the news. You know, most people would not put Eddie George on the air, but we do on IA Newswire because we don't care. We'll give you the stuff, the straight stuff, and like Eddie said, he might not be the sharpest blade in the drawer, but he's not the dullest one either. And
we're going to tell you like it is.
You got it. Thanks a lot, Eddie.
You betcha, Roy. You have a good one. I'm out.
Eddie George from Hemet News will be joining KMET up here in a sec. And we'll get that kicked off on that. We'll preview his upcoming speech that's going on up there. Is State of the... It's not State of the Union. Addressing a joint session of Congress, I believe, is what they're calling it. But we do get to the to that, and the Gavin Newsom story is absolutely off the charts that we will bring you
1 minute.
coming up on that. I thought he had his hand in the cookie jar. The numbers that are coming out now are absolutely staggering and stunning of the amount of cash that Gavin Newsom's rolling. It just makes you wonder how much the Biden crime family, if Gavin Newsom was pulling this, they have got to be bagging billions with the Chinese and everybody else that's going through on this stuff. I mean, it takes a lot to startle me, but the numbers on this stuff are getting absolutely just unbelievable as we work forward on all this stuff. We have to bring
15
you the
seconds.
good, bad, and the ugly each and every day on this stuff because
Here we go.
App today. IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
there's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday at 5:30 on the Monument, 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire on the aforementioned AM band, joining our vast video audience on Facebook, Twitch, and Jesse's favorite, he's got to hear that since he's back at KMET, and I'm rolling everything here on YouTube on that. We had a great time with Eddie George on that. The police officer that asked LeBron James, what should I do in the police shooting? It was a spoof, but it really had a lot of truth to that. We went through that with Eddie George. And then the Hemedai News, and go back and watch those of you that are tuning in on that or didn't miss it. Go back and watch the videos today. You're going to see what the police really have to deal with right in your own community each and every day. And like I say, LeBron's, the cops are not telling you how to play basketball because, you're obviously a great basketball player. We won't take that away from you. But you trying to tell the cops what to do when you basically have a almost no idea of what they go through on a daily basis or how you have to make that split decision of life and death. Your split decisions, on the basketball court, whether you shoot it or not, but they're not life and death. You're not asked on a daily or regular or even semi-regular basis to make these tough calls each and every day. Whether it's handling situations, domestic abuse, people shoplifting, or onto that somebody actually attacking somebody else and getting ready to either kill or substantially injure them on that. That's the kind of thing you have basically no idea. And if LeBron James really wanted to do anything, he should become a reserve cop, spend one day a month out there seeing what's going on. Then you might have some credibility to what you're doing on this stuff. Otherwise, shut the blank up and we will tune out of your basketball games. The NBA and NFL and a lot, their TV ratings are dropping like a rock. LeBron and the crew. NBA, why aren't you suspending him? If you had any credibility left, you'd be suspending him games for doing what he's doing, like you did Kyle Larson, like NASCAR did Kyle Larson and everything. If you're going to apply this standard, then apply it fairly to everyone. This was a stunning story that came out on the LA Times, posted by KTLA 5. Corporate giants flooded Newsom with record $226 million in charity donations in 2020. Well, Gavin Newsom had us locked up, tighter than a drum. Didn't want us, you can't do this, you can't do that, masks, da, 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 da. You know, on top of that, if you're legitimately unemployed, well, screw you, while we were handing out $31 billion in fraudulent unemployment claims. Here it is on KTLA-5 via the LA Times. Facebook, Google, and Blue Shield of California are among the companies that contributed a staggering $226 million to government causes on Governor Gulag, I'm adding in, Gavin Newsom's behalf last year. Unprecedented levels of spending that are raising alarms about the influence of large corporations are amassing in Sacramento. The big social media tech, and as we talked with Eddie George, the Google, where you talk into your computer like Alexis and all that crap. Facebook, these social media giants that are manipulating not only our election but our lives, lying to us, saying they're not selling our information when they're darn well doing it each and every day, violating their terms of service. This whole healthcare crap. Blue Shield of California is probably one of the biggest benefactors, if not the biggest, of this whole healthcare mandate, Obamacare, covered California. You know where they're getting the money? From you. You are paying more. You're paying 3 times for half the service. Gavin Newsom raised $226 million while he had you locked down and was torturing you each and every day in 2020. Whatever the gazillion executive orders and the masks and the lockdowns and the tears and everything else. You think I was kidding when I said, you know what, Mrs. Newsom up there, all of a sudden, man, this governor's mansion's got the most fertile farmland in the world. I just walked out, kicked over this brown paper bags of sacks, and all this green came out. That's just the over-the-table stuff. Now, let's roll the COVID and the torturing thing and that aside. Is there any more that the $31 billion welfare fraud, the trains? Oh, we're going to fix your roads if we raise the gas tax. Well, we were really lying about that, but we're going to raise the gas prices up some more on that, so you can pay less. You can pay more for travel on more congested, screwed up roads, ruining your cars and making your life miserable. You know, your 2-hour commute to work is now full. Ha ha ha! And you're paying more, and so I can collect $226 million and counting per year from these woke corporations, woke social tech giants. Facebook, Google. You think this healthcare crap is going? You are paying, again, you're paying 3 times more for medical care for half the service if you let the free market work the same. It's absolutely stunning of what goes on this stuff. On top of that, Goofball Biden is on the air. We'll be on just after we come on after the show here at 6 o'clock to address the nation. We're going to bring the chalkboard back. See if we can work this. See if we can work this rule of 78. Now, if you've been around a while, you would know that. It's a very, very easy financial term. Because if you want to figure out compounding interest, you divide the interest rate by 78, and that's the amount of time it will take to double. So if you're at 2% interest, in 39 years, $1 will turn into 2. Now, if you think government is going to save you, ha ha, ha ha ha. The rate of return in the private sector average in the United States is 10%. So if we use our rule of 78, you invest $1 in a private sector company, in 7.8 years, you see how bad I write, that dollar will turn into $2 worth of wealth. Now here's the kicker. Government, if you do this, only gives you a 5% rate of return. It's going to take 15.6 years for every dollar that the government spends to create $2 worth of benefit. This is why, and you can go on the exponential rate, this is why, now in the first 15 years, okay, when it takes $1, now you compound that, in the 15 years that it's double, the private sector, you're worth 4 times as much. That's the exponential rate. And as you keep going and going, that gap goes from here to here. Government will kill you. Private sector will make you wealthy. Your society wealthy. Government will kill it. And the only reason government can go up 5% because they are stifling the amount that the private sector does until they get so big like they're doing now. When they become 50% plus, as we're on the downhill slide of that, of the gross domestic product, that's when it's over. Then they will start sucking that 10% up, that 10% rate of return. They'll start sucking that capital out of the private sector and government, and pretty soon it all crashes. If you don't believe it, study the latest case in Venezuela, study Rome, in the 15th century, or go back, or every great society that's crashed, that's how they've done it. The big warning coming up, and this is what to look for before we get into the stats. Good old AOC made this stunning statement. Oh, we're getting, the progressive agenda is getting what we want with Joe Biden. Here's AOC on a Zoom meeting the other day.
One thing that I will say is that I do think that the Biden administration and President Biden has definitely exceeded expectations that progressives had. I'll be frank, I think a lot of us expected a much more conservative administration. And
all of y'all that voted for Slow Jones, oh, he's a moderate Democrat. Oh, he's been in the Senate for 40 years. Oh, he was a part of that program. He wasn't one of the fruitcakey nutcase left-wing progressives. Look at the rhetoric he's coming up with. The racist hate-mongering, pit you against me, Trump supporters, white supremacists, cops are out killing black people, on and on. Take you back. And this hasn't started. Daniel Patrick Moynihan, senator back in the 70s and 80s, very prominent. When Reagan was running for office and was elected president, he said, "Oh, Reagan's just out there giving boob bait for the bubbas." Joe Biden's just escalating that. And this is the evidence. You want to see evidence? AOC is saying Joe Biden's exceeding our nutcase ideas. Global warming. We're back in the Paris Accords when he said, "I wasn't for that. Couldn't wait." Well, as soon as he stopped the wall, the next thing was, "Oh yeah, we're back in the Paris Climate Control Accords," or whatever the hell it is that Trump got us out of. And all the other stupid stuff now they're trying to backtrack on. But are they really? This is what's coming up in the speech, which will be on less than about 15 minutes. Administration's officials insist that Biden's American Families Plan with $1 trillion in new spending and $800 billion in tax breaks will be entirely offset by new revenue. Oh, well, that sounds good. Where are they going to get this new revenue? You're asking, or you should be asking. The problem is most people don't ask that second question. And this is on Axios. Not part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, folks. Most of the $1 trillion costs will be covered by increasing personal taxes on individuals, but officials also need to draw some revenue from corporate tax breaks that Biden proposed earlier this month. You know who pays the vast amount of personal income taxes to the federal government? People making between $50,000 and $200,000 per year. That means what's left of the lunch pail-toting John and Jane Does left in this country that are actually barely holding this country up by their fingertips. This is called, I'm going to flip it up again, it's called hiding in plain sight. It sounds good. Biden's American Families Plan with $1 trillion in new spending. We're going to give you $800 million in tax breaks. That's why I brought back the chalkboard and the rule of 78 and the rate of return. This is all you need to know, or I hope that you all will grasp. You invest no matter what. Every dollar you invest under government control is going to buy you less than if that capital is invested or circulated in the private sector, private economy. That is a fact that has been proven time again since the beginning of a human recorded history on the planet Earth. Because once you start to implant the false impression that something is free, or we're going to take it from somebody else and give it to you, the whole Robin Hood thing, it don't work. It works for a little while. Just like a pyramid scheme. Pyramid scheme works for a Bernie Madoff investment scheme. Works good for a while. Until, as Margaret Thatcher, the great Prime Minister of England back in Reagan's era, back in the late 70s, early 80s, said, socialism works great until you run out of other people's money. And the vast amount of wealth in the United States or the world is held in the working class folks that go to work every day. So where are they getting this? They're taking it from you. They're taking $1 from you, giving you back 50 cents, 20 cents, and you think you're getting a winner. You're being a winner. That's what that whole little sentence, that's all you have to know. This little paragraph right here in the Axios article says it all. $1 trillion in new spending, $800 million in tax breaks will be offset by new revenue. Most of that $1.8 trillion cost will be covered by increasing personal taxes on individuals. That is you. Go look in the mirror, because the vast majority that are watching or living or United States citizens are the ones that are going to pay the freight. It ain't going to be Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or any of the other crew. It's going to be you. They're laughing at you because they're in on the scam. Why do you think they're giving Gavin Newsom $226 million freaking dollars in 2020? If you don't think you're going to be working harder for less, here we go, an insider. Working from home means longer hours, fewer sick days, fewer bonuses, according to major report. We break down 4 of its key findings. 1. Those who mostly work from home were less likely to get more bonuses. Number 2. Remote workers were less than half likely to call in sick. And they did more hours of, number 3, they did more hours of unpaid overtime. They were also more likely to be working in the evenings. So the future, should you choose to keep Gavin Newsom in office, empowering Pelosi and the AOCs, electing Joe Biden as president, the future you have will be nothing more than Governor Jerry Moonbeam Brown when he first got in 1974 and said less is more. And you know what you're getting? Just like that insider article said, you're going to be getting less money and you're going to be working longer hours. Now you see another facet of this whole lockdown thing. They're going to make you work harder for less money, benefits. Why do you think they're working this? Oh, we got to get you down to a 200 square feet condo in a 100-story tower and take you around. No more cars. Yeah, we'll run you around this bullet train that ain't going nowhere. That's the future, if you choose it. If you choose to let them keep shoving this crap down your throat, running these false narratives, buying the dominant media's whole bunch of crapola, false narratives, they'll take one piece of truth and then twist it. Yeah, the piece of the truth is, yeah, we're going to $1 trillion in spending, $800 million in tax cuts, and you are paying double for that. And then pretty soon, when the growth of the United States economy starts going negative, then you know you're really in a big heap of trouble. When you kill off the private sector, which is the only proven way to create wealth, create a high standard of living in the history of the earth, when you kill that, you'll be like them folks in Ethiopia grabbing gnats out of the air, eating them, trying to survive. But here in a few minutes, Joe Biden's going to give you a rosy scenario. Tell you all of y'all what he's doing for you. And when that happens, grab onto your ankles, because you know what's coming next. Because the only thing Joe Biden's known how to do in his 50-year career as a politician is enrich himself at your expense. God knows how many billions he's gotten screwing us over with the Chinese, or this latest one that broke in the LA Times. Gavin Newsom bagging $226 million from Facebook, Google, and Blue Shield, among others. It's criminal of what's going on. But soldier on as we will, we'll endure this. Failure is not an option. We'll figure this out one way or the other. It may not be pretty at some point, but it's something we're going to have to do as we go. We'll be back tomorrow on a Thirsty Thursday. I'm sure there'll be some things to talk about with Joe Biden's speech will be coming up in a couple seconds. On and on, everything else. And I'm sure Eddie George and the crew will get us some news stories going on back and forth. But until then, be back here in 23 hours to get the latest and greatest news. Until then, see ya!
I'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it.